All right, this video will be a little longer because we're going to review for the Module 1 test. So in problem 1, it is asking us to graph the equation by plotting points, and we have 8y plus 4x equals 8. So we want to be able to put this in my y equals so that I can use the table function to get points on this line. So the first thing I want to do is get the y by itself. So I'm going to subtract the 4x from both sides. So now I have 8y equals negative 4x plus 8. Then I'm going to divide both sides. Everybody I need to divide by 8. So now I have y equals negative 4/8, which will reduce to negative 1/2 x plus 8/8, which is plus 1. So I'm going to go to the y equals in my calculator. And put in my equation. So y equals negative 1 divided by 2x plus 1. So let's see what shape this is. That is going to be a line. So when you're graphing, you're going to need 2 points. So second table, let's grab 2 points. I'm going to stay away from decimals. So I'll do 2, 0, and I'll do 6, negative 2. So go back to the review. I'm going to click to enlarge the graph. I'm going to tell it what shape I'm drawing, which is the line, and then I'm going to plot 2 points. So the first point is at 2, 0. So to the right 2, up and down 0. And the next point is at 6, negative 2. So to the right 6 and down 2. And MathLab is going to connect the points to draw the line. Now, since this is a review, it doesn't tell you after each and every problem if you got it right or wrong. So you just have to go straight to the next problem. So this next one says to graph y equals x to the third minus 3. So luckily, this one's already in the y equals for us. So I can actually go straight to my calculator, to the y equals, and clear it out to put in my new equation. So x. Now I need to the third. So right above the division symbol, there's that little up caret. So that's going to put you in your exponent. Now my exponent is 3. Now that minus 3 is not in the exponent, but your cursor in your calculator still is. So make sure you go to the right arrow and then hit in your minus 3. So let's look at what this looks like. So remember, this cubic shape that is in MathLab, you're going to need 4 points from your table. So go to second table and let's choose 4 points. Let's see, the first one, I'll do what my cursor's on, negative 1, negative 4, 0, negative 3, 1, negative 2, and 2, 5. So let's go back to our homework, click to enlarge the graph, and we want to use that cube shape and then plot these points. So my first point is at negative 1, negative 4. So to the left 1, down 4. My next one is at 0, negative 3. So left and right 0, down 3. Now remember, it's not going to have that cube shape until you put in that last point. My next point is at 1, -2. So to the right 1, down 2, and then my last point is at 2, 5. So to the right 2 and up 5. Now you will have that cube shape. All right, the next problem says the function f is described by f of c equals 9/5 c plus 32. Uh-oh. Okay, so I just had to unsplit the screen real quick to see what the rest of the question says. So it says this gives the Fahrenheit temperature corresponding to the Celsius temperature of -5. So if the Celsius is -5, what is the Fahrenheit temperature? So what you're going to do is you're going to replace the C with the Celsius temperature. So you're actually finding F of -5. So 9/5 times, that's where you're going to put the -5 plus 32. And then you could actually just put that entire thing in your home screen of your calculator. So if you just do second quit, 9/5, open, -5, close, plus 32, and enter. That tells you that when it's -5 degrees Celsius, it is 23 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, this next problem. Determine whether this correspondence is a function. And you've got a domain column that has the values 18, 2, and 11, and a range that has 4 and 9. So 18 is just going to 4. 2 is just going to 9. And 11 is just going to 4. It is a function because each one of the domain only goes to one value in the range. That is what a function says. For each value of the domain, it only corresponds to one element in the range. Now, in this next one, you're given a function. This is kind of like number 1 and 2. F of x equals -3x plus 2, and it wants us to complete this xy table, and they call it f and f of x. But remember, f of x and y mean the same thing. So let's put this function in our y equals. So -3x plus 2. So let's see, it's going to be a long. So it wants me to complete the table. So second table. Now, it also, you'll notice in the table, it tells you the x's it wants you to use. It wants you to use -2, 0, and +2. So that's the points that I'm looking for in this calculator. So when x is -2, the y that goes with it is 8. When x is 0, the y that goes with it is 2. And when x is +2, the y that goes with that is -4. So those are going to be the numbers that I use to complete the table first. So when x is -2, the y was 8. When x was 0, the y was 2. And when x was +2, the y was -4. Now it wants you to click to enlarge the graph. Remember, this one was a line, and then just use some points that you have from your table. I'm going to do 0, 2, so left and right 0, up 2, and then I'll use 2, -4, so to the right 2 and down 4. And that'll connect the points for you. Now, this next one, same kind of thing. This is going to be an absolute value graph. So we have f of x equals 3 plus the absolute value of x. And you'll notice that it also has this x and f of x table that it wants us to complete. And it gives us the x's that it wants us to use. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So when I go to my y equals in my calculator, and I need to put in this equation. So 3 plus. Now remember to get the absolute value, which is what we need for this part here. You're going to hit the math key, and then you're going to scroll over to NUM. So let's look what that looks like. So the math key, then scroll over 1 to NUM, and the very next thing you see that it is on that ABS. So you can go ahead and hit enter. That's going to give you those absolute value bars, and you can put your X in there. So let's look at this graph. So you'll notice that it is the V shape. When you are graphing the V shape in MathLab, you have to plot the vertex first. The vertex is the point at where that V changes direction. So looking at the graph in the calculator, that point of that V is left and right 0, up 3. So I'm hoping left and right 0, so the X is 0, up 3. I'm hoping that when I go to my table, I'm going to see that point in the table. So let's go there now. So when X is -2, y is 5. When x is -1, y is 4. There's the 0, 3 point. So this point is your vertex. 1, 4, and 2, 5. So let's go back. Click to enlarge the graph. Remember, it's the V shape, so I'm going to click this. And in that yellow rectangle, it even says, click the graph to plot the vertex. So I am plotting this point first. So left and right 0, up 3, and then I can plot any of the other points. So to the right 1, up 4 for the next point. And then save it and go to your next.